Good evening. Welcome to the October 25th meeting of the Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends newspaper, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Dreese?
Present.
Mr. Hurd?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mrs. Russell?
Here.
Mayor Florence Lynch?
Here. All right. First on the agenda, we have a presentation, East Coast Research and Discovery Association plans for metal detecting at the Martin Berry House and the Train Station Museum. And we have Joe.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Joe Jorgensen.
Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Hi, Joe.
Joe? Hi.
I'm here to represent East Coast Research and Discovery Association, and I'm just going to give you a brief catch-up of how we did at the Mandeville Inn dig. I passed the book around. That worked out better to, it was beyond our expectations, what we found in that little footprint that we did. And the one thing that was great about that is the 8th grade history teacher coordinated. We went there on a Wednesday. They brought all the 8th grade classes out to watch us. Cool. We had the crew there. We were sifted. And I tell you, the stars lined up that day because before anybody got there, we put like 2 bottles down in the pit because, we got to show them stuff. There was some days where
Is that like planting evidence?
Hours and you're going through a bunch of broken stuff and what have you. So we pulled those things out, and that must have been like, seeds for the garden, because that was one of the best days of the stuff that came out of the hole while the kids were there. We actually found an Native American Indian grinding stone. Really? One that just got in there incidentally, and the kids were just floored about that. We explained what it was. There was the little brass Teddy Roosevelt watch fob came out of there. The stuff was coming out left and right for all the classes, and the kids, they really paid attention. They had a little checklist of questions to ask me and stuff, and it just worked out great. And there was a lot of buzz. The teachers they said the kids are telling other kids in the hallways, and 2 of the teachers said in the 10 years they were there, this was probably the most interesting thing that the kids did, because they saw the way they were talking about it. And some of the other teachers started bringing their classes out because they said, we didn't know about this. Well, we couldn't bring the whole school. We had 40 kids at a time because it was working out really good. And we found a lot of great stuff. We're documenting it in one of those hardcover books. We're going to make it, once we have it finalized.
This book, it's fabulous.
So, it's something what you could do. That's like the Shutterfly app. The one guy at the club, puts the stuff in there.
This is so cool. Everything in this book is what you found on that site?
That's just a fraction of it.
They found a lot
We just
more.
put some highlight stuff because a lot of the stuff we found there, the types of bottles, we found most of the section we were on, everything was 100 years old. It was all pre-1920. And because they dumped there into the 30s and stuff, but we were on all the good bottles, turn of the century and before. We're restoring. We found some of the bar signs, the glass bar signs that were behind. They had like a cigar and liquor bar there. There was a lot of cigar-related stuff. And we found a glass sign about this big, 6 inches by 24 inches, in 5 pieces. It was broken, but we got all 5 pieces, and it's etched in gold leaf. Some of the gold leaf is still on it.
Wow.
And it was El Singular. Tampa, Florida, or something like that. And it was in Spanish. Like, I guess the way it said it was like the best cigar, the way it translated out. But we found some cast iron, like cigar cutters and all kinds of crazy stuff in there. But we did a presentation for the public library, the Pequannock one, and we did 4 other libraries. We did 5 presentations, New Providence, Dumont, Long Valley. You know, the libraries actually started reaching out to us because Pequannock put it on their Facebook site. So it was very well received, and people love to hear about the history of our town. But the main reason I'm here tonight is that I'm looking to get permission to do, in the spring, another dig over there next to where we were, like right behind the backstop. And when does like softball season and Little League season start? When do they actually start?
Mid to late April.
Yeah,
Late
April 1st.
That's what we figure to wrap up, depending on as soon as the frost.
Does Little League use that field?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought only the middle schoolers use that field.
nah, we use it as a practice field and stuff like that.
There's a lot going on there. There's always somebody in there.
'Cause one of our-
So you're hoping to be done before?
Yeah, we want to be out of there by the time the games start, because we started right at the end of the season. There was some stuff going on, and it was, nobody complained, but I could see the coaches were a little distracted because the kids were more interested in what we were finding there.
Yeah.
At that age, they are.
They kept calling.
They'll help you dig.
So, even when we were digging there, kids were coming back after school and watching us and stuff. So there's a lot of interest. It was really, really cool that the young people were.
This is the small field closest to PV school.
Yeah.
Home plate was
Like, what's it, Hillview 7 or something?
7.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in the corner over there. So we're looking to get permission to do a dig over there like in March at that location. But, and also the second thing on the list here is the Martin Berry House. We wanted to do a couple little test pits on the hill, not by the house, but where the ground drops off towards Stefanos or whatever, that bank there.
Okay.
When we metal detected that property, seems like the dump is up off the side of that hill. So we're trying to locate the oldest part of the dump. This house goes back to 1720s. So that may be covered by other decades of newer garbage, but that will be a whole nother array of artifacts, because that's basically was a residential house, and I think it might have been like sort of like a bed and breakfast or whatever for a little while. The hotel site was really a choice site to dig because you get such a variety of stuff. We got liquor bottles from all over the world, Germany, Scotland, all over France, and the amount of liquor bottles is just amazing. You know, that was a swanky place. So we're looking for, do some test pits over there, and then once we identify a spot that would be good to do a dig, we would set up like a smaller fence than what we have over there, because it's going to be kind of on the side of the hill, and secure that spot so that nobody gets hurt. If it worked at the school, it'll work anywhere, because there was a lot of activity there. We didn't have any vandalism. We didn't have anybody do anything. And the kids have changed, because if I saw that back when I was in middle school, I'd be over that fence the first time I was class.
But you want to do over by the ball field first, and then after that,
No,
Martin Berry?
that'll be in March, in the spring.
Right, but Martin Berry would be
We're
one.
thinking of getting over there now and do some test holes
All right.
and see where that leads. We may not have
Do that.
time to do any kind of organized dig. I'll
Okay.
coordinate with Adam about that, but,
Oh, I'm a definite yes. I have a question for you.
I'm a
Absolutely.
definite yes.
okay. But the other one too is, we have the train station. I got a copy of the Sanborn map. Those are the insurance maps, and it gives you to scale where the outhouse was. It was a 2-seat outhouse.
Are you sure you want to dig there?
Yeah, right?
No, it's not, they're great. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. It's 100 years since they used the thing, or maybe 75 years. But it's not what you think, because it's, the only thing that kind of freaks you out is when you get to the bottom, you'll find a layer of seeds.
Really?
People ate a lot of fresh foods. Believe it or not, that's how you know when you're on the bottom.
Really?
Yeah, and we're gonna actually,
I learned something new today.
we're gonna actually
Hysterical.
get,
And we will all repeat it.
we're gonna get a little plexiglass display case and put the dirt with the seeds in so that you can
Visualize.
visually see what it is. But,
Interesting.
that- if you're familiar with the site, there's a little park bench, like kind of in the woods to the side there. It's pretty much right behind there is where it is. And
Did they dig up for the rail trail?
luckily,
No,
with
that's
the
like
bike path,
kind
they
of by
just
the-
scraped all the brush.
Yeah, they took all the trees down for you.
Yeah, they made it easy. And that's what got me thinking, because at the one historical meeting, I asked Jay, I said, did anybody ever dig the outhouse? And he goes, no, but he goes, I have the Sanborn map, I'll show you where it is. So that's the third.
Of course he does.
And that we would like to, if we can find it, get started pretty quickly, because the thing that works out really good with the club is the members of the club, most of all the stuff that was dug at the Mandeville Inn was dug by a nurse and a teacher. The two women were the ones we could not get out of the hole. They were so interested in it, and they were like groundhogs. Because it was so funny, because, you wouldn't think the women would be that interested, but we have a lot of people that just love the history, love, that kind of stuff, and they're going to be fighting to get in the outhouse hole too, I'm sure. So-
But here's my question. What do you expect to find in the outhouse hole besides seeds?
Now, you're going to find a lot of bottles. You're going to find, you can find pocket watch, you can find jewelry, stuff you find, because you have to think of the whole process of, think of using the porta-johns.
It's cold, your
How many cell
hands
phones
are...
those guys?
You drop it in there, you ain't going after it.
Yeah, you're not, if it goes in there, it's gone.
Where is it?
Yeah.
You're not going after it.
So do you find some cool stuff in outhouses?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you can find really cool stuff. And the thing about that is that's more of a public one than a private one. And it was a two-seater, because you picture that if you came in from New York on the train, there was probably a rush for that.
Yeah, you had to go.
house when they landed here. So it'll be interesting. The only thing we got to hope for is that it wasn't scooped out, because the train station goes back to, 1870s or something like that. After 50 years of use, they may have scooped it out, but we're hoping they didn't, because sometimes if they did, you either had somebody dredge it out manually, they didn't have any suction trucks at that point, or you dug a new one and moved
Yeah,
it.
you moved it.
But it doesn't show up as another one on the Sanborn map, so I think that's the one and only. So, and a lot of times too, when it's abandoned, they'll throw stuff in it. But I'm not sure, I have to find out, I'll find out tomorrow night at the historic meeting that when the last passenger trains were done there. But as long as there was trains running and stopping there, people were using that outhouse. So there'll be interesting stuff, and we'll make up a book on both the Martin Berry artifacts and also the train station, because we're actually going to videotape that also.
So Joe, you're staying on our property you're not going on, we're not going to get in trouble with the county.
No, it's definitely, that's why we have the survey, because it shows where the freight house was too, because that's in the talks of having that restored sometime where the freight house was. And then the outhouse was right beyond that. So there's no possibility of interfering with anybody else or anything, so.
So somebody from Little League just told me they think opening day is going to be the 15th
Of April?
of April.
Okay, yeah, well, we're just gonna plan on,
So that means practice will start
2 weeks
probably
earlier.
2 weeks earlier.
okay.
First practice.
But it worked out this year. We were pretty close to the backstop, and it didn't really, but I just figured it not be a distraction during the.
Right, you wouldn't be in the way of practices.
No.
You're not on the field.
And if you do it during the day, there's,
Yeah, it's not digging up the field.
Yeah, I don't
We're
know.
also there.
I wouldn't have a problem if you did dig up the field.
And then
That's
some of the
awesome.
people are retired, they're there during the week, so there's no one there during the week, like during the day.
yeah.
Joe, quick question. Over by the field, how big is that garbage pit? Like, where does it go?
Remember, it goes out pretty much all the way to the pitcher's mound.
Really?
Yeah, it's good
Wow.
75-foot diameter, irregular circle shape, because they basically just
Wow.
dug down, filled in, and dig next to it, it bounced around, and
So where you're excavating right now is actually the corner of it?
yeah, we're kind of on the edge.
Wow.
We probed around to try to find the edge of it and start there, because I know the section that we were on, there was some bigger trees there back in '75. So you couldn't dig where the roots of the trees were, because we didn't want to get on one of the trenches that were already dug, because you're not going to find any full bottles, you're going to find all broken stuff, because everybody, all the bottle hunters and everything else, the town did just a tiny bit, like the history teacher did a tiny bit, but it was just open. And once the word got out, all the Patterson bottle diggers and anybody that liked bottles, because it was big back then. There's a lot of people that collected a lot of local bottles, and they looked for local dumps, so they went all over the place. But Paul Goranson was the teacher, and he's still alive. He came out, we got pictures of him at the site with us, which is great, because we want to add that to the book also. And he gave us a couple bottles that he dug back then, and we have a crop, you know, the crops with the handles on it. It's ink, you know, for the ink wells. It was a giant master bulk ink. And he dug that out, and we found a lot of the other inks, and the same thing, there was a lot of little ink wells that came out, because we theorized that each one of the rooms at the hotel had a little writing desk with some stationery and an ink well, because we found green ones, blue ones, all different types of them.
Fascinating.
In there, so it really puts like a visual picture of what the Mandeville Inn was all about back then. And the historic people, you know, society and everything down there, just, they ate it up, you know, they really, you know, because we got a good history of stuff. Plus, we found a couple of signs from it, tin signs. I think in the back of the book, there was a picture of that. It said Hotel Mandeville, and it has a picture of a hand pointing, and it says quarter mile. We found about 10 of them, and about, you know, 5 of them are in decent shape, because they were steel signs that were enameled. So that's one of the only references of Hotel Mandeville. It was always like Mandeville Hotel. So that was really cool, because we never expected to find something with Mandeville in it, written. You know? So a lot of cool stuff came out of there.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm a definite yes.
I'm good with it.
All 3
I'm a
locations.
yes for yes, even
Okay,
yes.
great. So we'll
Nothing we need to do, right?
we'll keep you attuned to what's going on.
Yeah, just in response to the mayor's question, no, and my compliments to Mr. Jorgensen and the organization, because when he brings in the concept, he brings in the certificate of insurance, and everything's all taken care of, so all the administrative stuff is buttoned up, and as he mentioned before, there were no issues with the other site, and yeah, from an operations perspective, it's a pleasure working with you and the group, and I look forward to it.
Well, it's a pleasure that getting the permission from the town, because we got 100 members, and these people, you know, we're going to be doing something down in Princeton. We're actually starting to get, they're going to do a big renovation in Prospect Park in New York City, and we're drawing up a proposal to work alongside the grading, the construction equipment to recover the artifacts before everything gets just plowed up. So that would be a big project for us. Plus the Allaire State Park, we're starting to get interest from the state parks, because, you know, archaeologists kind of snuff all this stuff. They don't want anybody removing anything, yet there's no plan to ever take it out, and the stuff just keeps disappearing. You know, you wouldn't do an archaeological dig out of bottle dump there, because everything's out of context. You know, it's not, and there's nothing really historic, you know, if like it was a president's house or something like that, they get the funding, but we're trying to retrieve a lot of that stuff that will never be retrieved, and we're getting responses, because the Allaire State Park, they're putting in for the permits for us to come in and do some stuff around their buildings. And like I say, the members of our organization, they're just thrilled. They love to find this stuff, you know, firsthand, so.
That's awesome.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Good seeing
Thanks for
everybody.
coming.
That's a
You
great
too.
book, too.
Yeah, and it'll be twice that thickness by the time we add all the other stuff that we've found since then. So it's just.
Excited to see it.
Hopefully, we'll get 2 more of them out of the stuff we find here.
Joe, thank you so much.
You never know.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for doing
You never
that.
know.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along, since there's no one in the audience, I guess there's no reports or comments from any of the volunteers serving our community, and I don't see anybody here for public comment. So we will move right on to the manager's report when you're ready.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Yes, let me catch up real quickly. A few quick items, most of which are scheduled for the council's consideration later. We have the public hearings for the ordinance on fire department clothing allowance. We have the public hearing for the drainage project that was discussed. Both ordinances were discussed at the last council meeting when they were introduced. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to take them. The annual tradition, as I like to think of it, of the completion of the best practices inventory was undertaken by the finance officer and myself. The responses are included behind the manager's report. As the council may be aware from prior years, this was initiated, 10 years ago, maybe at this point, where the Department of Community Affairs comes out with kind of topics that are of hot interest or priorities that aren't necessarily articulated anywhere in law, but they would really like towns to do it. The bottom line is if you don't score a certain number, the state will withhold a portion of your state aid. We've never had that happen here, and it is not the case again in 2022. We needed a score of 24, and we scored 33.
All right.
Any questions on that?
Congratulations.
I'd be happy to.
Overachiever.
We're doing good work. The staff is doing excellent stuff. A lot of it had to do with financial reporting, things on the website. Cybersecurity is a big thing, as the council's aware. So there were some things about that. We have a discussion item this evening on the meeting schedule, so I won't get too far into that. And unless there are any questions about the report or anything else, that is all I have for you this evening.
I'm just going to go back to the last meeting. You said you were going to do the study on the water rates,
Yes.
and then the CFO gave birth.
Yes, she's had a baby, little girl. Yes, sir.
If she's working, are we going to still proceed with that, or are we going to hold off on that, or?
I'm anticipating discussion in December as a result of having to shift some priorities around based upon it. She is working, but there is a reduced schedule. So having had experience that some members of this council will remember where we didn't quite get it right the first time, I don't want to repeat that. I'd like to do it once and do it right. So as my father would say, haste makes waste. I want to do it once, get it right. We're going to involve the auditors a little bit. The analysis is about 85-90% done, but we want to make sure that the package.
Just don't take too long.
I'll say what?
Just don't take too long.
No, December.
Don't haste, but you can't drag either.
December. So unfortunately, the result of the discussion item in December will cause legislative action to be in 2023, which will be prior to the bills going out, but it'll establish a rate for January 1, 2023, which was the case when we did, I believe, the water rates last time, but the sewer rates were done in advance. So that's the impact of the
Okay. Anyone else have any comments or questions?
No.
Mr. Burley? No?
Yeah.
Okay. So, moving along, next on the agenda is public hearing on ordinance number 2022-17. Ms. Marsh?
Ordinance 2022-17 is an ordinance providing for drainage improvement measures in and by the Township of Pequannock in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, and appropriating the sum of $42,000 for financing thereof.
Any comments from the council?
Nope.
Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Anyone in the audience have questions? No one's here.
a trick
Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Go ahead.
All in favor? Aye. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
I'll make the motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-17.
Second?
I'll take it.
Okay, Ryan. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dreesy?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Florence Lynch?
Yes. Next on the agenda is public hearing on ordinance number 2022-18. Ms. Marsh.
Ordinance 2022-18 is an ordinance authorizing compensation in the form of a clothing allowance or stipend for members of the fire department of the Township of Pequannock.
Any comments?
No.
Is there a motion to open public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Second? All right, John. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone in the audience have questions or comments? There's no one in the audience. Is there a motion to close the public
I'll
hearing?
make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Is there a motion to adopt the
I'll
ordinance?
make that motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-18.
Second? All right, John. Roll call?
Mr. Dracy?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Florence Lynch?
Yes. All right, and there's no ordinances on tonight's agenda to introduce, so we'll move on to resolutions for approval. Ms. Marsh?
Beginning with Resolution R 2022-183, establishing a cash management plan and naming official cash depositories. 2022-184, authorizing change order number 1, an increase of cost to Tilcon New York Incorporated for the annual road resurfacing improvements project in an amount of $2,865.71 to a revised total amount of $262,865.71. 185, authorizing a professional services agreement between the Township of Pequannock and Crew Engineering Incorporated for wells 1 and 2 PFAS treatment. 186, authorizing the purchase and installation of fencing at Washington Square Park, Field 3 by Challenger Fence Incorporated under the use of the Morris County Cooperative Pricing Council in the amount of $71,214. 2022-187, authorizing tax office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations, and 2022-188, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the October 20th, 2022 bill list and 2018 FEMA elevation escrow list.
All right, any comments on any of these resolutions?
I have one question on R 2022-185. So this is just for engineering on wells 1 and 2?
This is for the final design, all permitting, lead role with iBank, bidding, construction management, and administration, and bringing the project to close.
So they oversee the whole project also?
Correct.
But it's
And
not the building of...
It's not the construction, it's
Right.
the professional services that are the responsibility of the project engineer.
Right, and it's not just the wells, 1 and 2, this is the blending facility. It's going
That's what I was gonna
blending
say.
facility, correct, yeah.
As identified in the report, previously provided when preliminary design was completed, the intention is to install the filtration system at the blending facility, therefore taking care of all of the...
And that'll take care of not only any water we purchase from Newark, as well as any one of our 3 wells, because everything goes through there, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that was my second question, is why it just said wells 1 or 2. Okay,
That which is arose by any other name smells the same.
sounds good. Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
Smells like water. Go ahead.
Anyone else have anything? No other comments or questions? Okay, is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion to
get it.
adopt resolutions R 2022-183 through R 2022-188.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please. Sorry.
Mr. Dracy?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Florence Lynch?
Yes. All right, next on the agenda is items for discussion. We need to pick our meeting schedule for the remainder of 2022, and we're going to work on 2023 as well. So,
It's my understanding we're meeting on 12/22 at 1 o'clock.
Correct. That's the current
so-
notice, second meeting.
12/27.
yeah, so what's the schedule right now? I'm sorry.
Oh, we skip it.
What was the question?
You need to pay bills, Mr. Tracy.
He said December,
So we have to pay bills.
December 22nd.
Instead of the 26th?
No,
Instead of
this
the
is this year.
27th.
No. You're
So
looking at
we're on
next
this
year.
year.
We're talking about this year.
For the balance of this year, we have a scheduled meeting on November 8th, which is a regularly scheduled Tuesday, second Tuesday of the month. We have a scheduled meeting on November 22nd, which is the fourth Tuesday. It's proposed, as we have an annual obligation to hold a Board of Health meeting, to have a 6:30 Board of Health meeting on the 22nd, so unless there's objection, I'd like to add that to the calendar.
everybody's okay with getting here
Yeah,
for the
that's fine.
6:30 on the 22nd? Okay,
Jesus.
moving along.
We have a regularly scheduled meeting on December 13th, the second Tuesday of December, at 7 p.m. And then, as we traditionally have, the second December meeting is to pay bills and handle minor matters. And as Mr. Cole mentioned, that's scheduled for December 22nd at 1 p.m.
So instead of having to come the 27th at night, we come on the 22nd.
Yeah, but we don't have to, we already decided that.
That's
Yeah.
the currently
That's
noticed.
what it's currently
plan.
in.
Right.
And we're fine with that.
So everybody's still okay with that, right? Okay.
And
What time is that?
the 22nd.
1 p.m.
I have a wedding that day, so.
Wait a second, what's 1 PM? I am totally
On the
lost.
22nd of this year.
December.
Yeah, and that was
December
something that we
22nd.
decided, I
December
guess,
22nd.
We do it at 1
During this
p.m.
conversation,
last year.
2021, correct.
Is everybody okay with that? Because that's
Yep.
where we are right now. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I have us for one.
And then also, are we going to talk about any special meetings? for
So
appointment?
the council and the clerk typically meet to discuss appointments and other matters of that ilk, so I don't know what the council's pleasure is, but it would be much
Yeah, we-
appreciated by the municipal clerk if we could establish those dates.
Do you want to establish 2 dates?
The 2 dates is usually in order, one as late as possible, because there's always stragglers.
Right, so you want to do like a first one in earlier December and one later in December? What do you guys think? Can we do it before? You might even be able to tack one of them on one of the other meeting dates.
We usually do one on a Saturday in the morning.
You want to do that?
Not the...
No, no,
No.
no.
Oh, that's budget. What is
Yeah.
this?
Now, this is to
Appointment.
discuss, yeah,
Oh, so this is just for
So-
council appointments?
No, this is for...
appointments to
committee-
boards and committees.
For commissions and boards.
By
the council.
Yeah, by the
Yes.
council.
So, like, we could do one, I don't know how you feel about doing one before,
Why don't we do one on the 13th before our
right,
meeting?
before the 7 o'clock meeting. That's what I was going to say.
Do it at 6 o'clock before the meeting.
13th of December?
Yeah.
But
What's my,
That's-
no?
Usually we meet before then, don't we?
Well,
I mean, it's fine with me.
the problem is that then, to Carol's point, then all of a sudden, we're still getting them in. I think that,
Well,
13th.
we swear them in on the 1st,
Yeah.
so Dave's got a point. We have to meet sometime in November.
November.
Well, no.
well,
I would say, maybe the 8th,
yeah, I mean, if you want to do it a little bit earlier, it would-
And then if we need to, we can meet again on the 13th, earlier.
or if everybody's going to be there on the 22nd, you could,
that's what I was going to suggest. I was originally going to say the 13th and the 22nd, or if you want to do it, the first one a little bit earlier, do it like the 8th, and then...
Yeah, I think we should
And then we'll
like
do the other one after
do
the
like
1 o'clock.
8th at 6 o'clock, try to nail it down, and then there's always who has to make a phone call to finalize
Right.
it.
I mean, I am supposed to be at Triple Play then, but I think I'm coming home early that
Wait,
day.
the
so I
8th
should be
of-
all right.
The 8th of December.
Okay. So we'd be coming in on Thursday.
Yeah,
I'll get home.
unless anybody wants to do a different day.
I don't know, does everybody really feel like we need to do it that early, like, as opposed to the 13th?
Yeah, because we
Okay.
need to meet the second day.
But then you might as well make it
And
the
then
6th.
you're getting into the Christmas holiday, and the
Yeah.
whole reason we're doing.
All right, so let's do
1
6
o'clock is
o'clock.
because we want to get in and get out. So
All right,
I don't want to be sitting here.
6 o'clock on the 8th, and if
I may
we,
not be here, but that's fine.
and if we need a second one,
Anybody opposed to do it on the 10th morning?
On a Saturday?
No, Saturdays, stop it.
Thank you, John.
That would be a yes opposed.
The last place I want to be on a Saturday.
Yeah, but get used to it. We're going to be doing Saturday during budget.
Does anybody have meetings on the 12th?
I could do the 12th.
I don't have anything on the 12th.
I mean, we can make it to the 12th.
All right, make it the 12th, that's actually better for me.
just a caveat in here, we might not be able to do it in this room on the 12th.
That's all right.
That's, yeah, fine with me, okay.
What, is
Time on
there-
the 12th.
unless there's planning board.
6 o'clock?
Is there a planning board that
Instead
meeting
of the
that?
8th?
I don't know if there's,
Probably be the 5th, wouldn't it?
I would think.
Yeah, that's the first.
All right, 6 o'clock on the 12th, how's that look for everybody?
Good.
That works for me.
That'll be the first one.
And if we need to, we can wrap things up on the 22nd.
Before or after the 1 o'clock? After. Before.
So let's all make sure that we do our homework
Yes.
and talk to
And
who we
talk,
need to talk
yeah.
to and see
Carol,
who
can you
wants to
get the-
come in before the 12th so that we're not
Yes, I agree.
saying, oh, we need one more person, let's all get this done.
I agree.
12th,
And
so we
can,
go in there fully prepared.
I agree.
And Carol, if you can get the who's up
Yes.
for,
yep, absolutely, and I will send out the emails to the people whose terms are up,
perfect.
okay?
So just to be clear, because my notes, I want to make sure. while we're
6
at the meeting.
o'clock, go
I
ahead.
told you to
13th
use a pencil.
The 13th and the 8th are out. It's the 6 o'clock on December 12th.
Correct. And then the 13th if need be. right?
No.
22nd.
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 Which will be a publicly noticed meeting anyway, so you would just need to add the
It's
agenda.
going to be 6 o'clock on the 12th and the 22nd. No, it would be before the 22nd, to Dave's point.
A
Like,
breakfast meeting, if you may.
So there's no meeting on the 13th? Isn't that the second Tuesday?
Yes, there is a meeting.
There's a
There's a
regular
regular
meeting on the
meeting.
13th. We're just not meeting earlier.
So 12th and 22?
Well, is there a reason?
Just be here on the 12th, and we'll figure it out after the 12th.
We got meetings on the 12th, the 13th, and the 22nd.
So you guys do whatever you want.
Okay, and the 12th is at 6?
I mean, is there a reason? Now we're only talking a day's difference. Is there a reason why you want to just do it before the 13th meeting, or is everybody okay?
No,
I don't
because
think
we
it's
have to reach
All
out.
right.
Well, what time are we going to meet, 5?
Right, and because if we need more time, we can do from 6 to 8 and
Okay,
get it
great.
all done, whereas...
Good. All right.
On what, the
I
12th?
just saw John's face and I was trying to...
What did I do?
No, okay. 6 o'clock
Usually,
on
the
the
first
12th.
meeting is not on a council meeting, and then the second
Yeah.
meeting is before the
Okay.
council meeting.
So if we need one on the 22nd, that'll probably be at 12 o'clock or
Yeah.
something. Okay.
Okay, so are we on film? So anybody who's asking on film, please get in your things right now so that we know who wants to sign up for our
That's digital.
meetings. I have to say.
Everybody's
whatever,
good?
Film, digital,
That's YouTube. Hey, YouTube.
and my Facebook Live.
All right, now what about 2023?
Wait, okay. Oh, geez.
Okay, now you go to this page.
Take a year in advance.
So there's one where we're at League of Municipalities. What do we do for that?
No, it's not.
14th?
Tuesday the 14th.
Isn't that the week of the league?
The second meeting is the 8th, and the League of Municipalities is the 15th, 16th, 17th.
No, it isn't. That's the first Tuesday.
We're talking next
Next year.
year?
Next year.
Remember, Halloween is on Monday.
Did I get that wrong?
Are we talking next year?
Next year.
Next year.
Next year.
We're into next year. We're done
Next
with
year,
this.
well, wait a minute.
Yes, the 14th is the Tuesday of the league.
Right. 14th is the Tuesday of the league, and the 14th is our council meeting. Can we push it back to the 13th?
How about let's just have one meeting then?
Andy, you need 2.
You need to?
I just want to look at the rest
You
of
don't
the
need to.
schedule and make sure that's right. February 14th.
You can have-
Everybody's okay with meeting on Valentine's Day, right?
I think we should drop one meeting that month.
What are you talking about, Valentine's Day?
Oh, I was teasing. I was just saying, I'm going through the whole schedule. I said, everybody's okay with
We had a
meeting
meeting
on
on my
Valentine's
25th
Day?
wedding anniversary.
I'm going through one by one.
Congratulations.
January 10th, January 24th, February 14th, February 28th. Everybody's okay with all these? March 14th,
I may have
March
lost
28th.
Well, we jumped right to November. What are we doing for a reorg meeting in January?
Exactly. I was going to bring that up too after we went through this. When do you want your reorg meeting, guys?
January 5th?
Now we're going back now? You can't keep up with these people. Why don't we make it Monday the 2nd?
No.
January 5th is a Thursday. Everybody good with that for a reorg meeting?
Yeah.
Works for me.
Do you want it at 6 or 7?
6 o'clock works.
Works for me.
Everybody's good, 6
This
o'clock?
way, to give everybody a chance, for all the other ones to calm down, maybe we can get some elected officials if we have it on the 5th.
We usually get everybody coming by.
They love your meetings because they start early and they only last a short time.
Yeah.
So what time on the 5th?
6 o'clock.
Okie dokie.
All right. And then just look, I don't know if you want to just look at the rest of these dates and make sure you're good with them.
It's the 14th, and if you want to change the 26th, were the ones that jumped out at me.
If you want to change what? I'm sorry. All
November 14th,
right, want to change it to where?
Just delete it.
make the 13th. I don't care.
Actually, yeah, I mean, the 13th is okay with me.
Why don't we move it to the 13th if that's during the league? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
It's the day before.
You okay with that, guys?
What was your other thing you suggested, Carol?
I don't know how people feel about December 26th.
No. Let's meet on the 21st.
Okay.
Yeah, at 1 p.m.
1
Keep
o'clock.
that consistent.
Yeah.
You want to do it on the Thursday, not the Friday, right?
Correct.
1 p.m.? Okay.
1 p.m.
I agree.
On the 21st is our meeting?
Yeah, I'm not meeting the day after Christmas.
Fair enough.
And then
Do a show and tell all the presents you got.
No.
All right, just so I can change it on this schedule, read it to me again, I'm sorry.
So it's- my understanding through the discussion was it's Monday, November 13th in lieu of Tuesday, November 14th.
Yes, the 13th
And
instead of
then
the 14th.
Thursday, December 21st at 1 PM in lieu of Tuesday, December 26th.
All right, so that's being moved to 1 PM too?
If that's the consensus of council.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll have a resolution for the next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, moving along, no reports or notices this evening. Next item on the agenda is council reports and announcements. I will start with you, John, Councilman DeRisi.
Oh, goody. Thank you, Mayor. Last time I had mentioned that the Historic Preservation Commission, they got approached by somebody about doing a presentation for the bike path. The guy's name is Richard Seasbury.
Yeah.
So that's the guy that was walking around that met with Jay, and they said they wanted to do some type of, I don't know if you've heard Adam, they wanted to do some type of program. So that was from that. So I owed you that from last time.
Yeah, just to amplify Mr. Drisi's comment, Commissioner Seabury is a commissioner on the Morris County Park Commission and has been so, I believe, for 46 or 47 years.
Wow.
It's a good man. Good man. Shade Tree Commission met last night. They had put together a letter for, they're going through and picking streets where they think we should plant some more shade trees, and they put a letter together to send out to the residents to use the grant that we got. So they're working on that.
Okay, great.
Look, as Mr. Brewer mentioned earlier, the best practices came in really, really good, so congrats to the town for that. Good job. There was a number of paving projects that happened in town, which is good. It's always nice to see nice asphalt with stop bars and stop signs. So that's always nice. The hoedown was a great day, so that was a nice event, nice big event. And whoever put in the order for the weather did a great job. Other than that, I just want to give a shout out to thank you to all the people that work behind the scenes in the office here, in the office down on Alexander, to keep things running smoothly behind the scenes. So thank you for what you do. Keep up the good work. And that's what I got.
Okay, great, thank you. Councilman Hurd.
Thank you, Mayor. None of my groups met, but I do have one announcement, and it's the congratulations to Pequannock High School Marching Band.
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah,
Again.
so we won first place at the Ridge, which is Basking Ridge. We had a 91.6. We won by 0.2 of a point. That's how tight the competition is this year. The week before, we got second place, and we lost by 1/10
By 1/10,
of a
right?
point.
West Milford?
West Milford, yeah. So our next two weekends are the biggest weekends. Coming up this weekend is States at South Brunswick. We go on at 3:30. And then November 6th is National. So these are the next two biggest ones. Fingers crossed that we're going to win. And good luck, Pequannock High School Marching Band. That's all I have, Mayor.
Right, awesome. And Councilman Cole.
Just to repeat for John, it was a great day for the hoedown, great turnout, beautiful weather. Thanks to everyone for the shred day. This is the first time that I actually went a couple hours after it started. Usually I get there bright and early and there's like 20 cars in front of me. This time I was able to pull right up. And then I just got a question. I got a call about kids hanging out at PV Park. They were on the diving boards. So, don't we usually put a snow fence up around the lake?
We do.
And I rode by the other day, I saw the lifeguard chairs were still out, so I don't know when they're...
Yeah, there needs some closing.
Yeah. So,
We need some closing activities.
they were sitting on the high dive or something.
I will follow up.
I said, call the police.
Right,
Don't call
exactly.
me.
Yeah.
But we need to make sure everything is closed
Yeah.
down and as
Yeah, I
unattractive
told
as
the person that
possible
called
for
that
behavior.
the park is open 365 days a year now, and that person
It's not
was
the diving board.
surprised that it was. I said, but, we do put a snow fence around the lake, so.
Good.
That's all I have, thank you.
Okay, Councilwoman Russell.
It's funny, you should mention that because that was on my list of things to state, is that don't forget the gates are open to enjoy PV Park. right here in Reading. In the off-season, but no dogs, no going on the diving boards, obviously. You know, they were closing up, but I mean, I think Thursday we're gonna have some nice weather. It'd be nice to grab a chair and go sit there. A couple of grand openings that we all attended, Polish Pets and down in Pequannock, and Just a Little Something right up here in Pompton Plains. One is pets, the other is chocolates and delicious candy. So both of them were very well received. Both of them had nice groups. It was good. Environmental, the Mayor's River cleanup is scheduled for Saturday, April 15th. The community garden, which was full this year, is closing for the season, obviously. Library is very happy. They're getting a little more money of your taxes this year. It's going up about $60,000. That's good. So I just want to let people know, use the library. It's a public library. You're paying for it. It's a great resource. You can use the computers. You can use the rooms. You can borrow the books. The library is so much more than what most people know, and they have a lot of great programs that they do offer. So go see it. Check it out. They had a I can't even say it. Scarecrow stroll. Even when I say it slowly, I say it. And there's really cute scarecrows there. So, and that was done by the Friends of the Library.
When's the Riverwalk?
River cleanup, 4/15.
May 15th, April 15th, I have.
It's a Monday.
April 15th is the Mayor's River cleanup. They didn't check that with you?
2023? That's a Monday.
Saturday, April 15th?
Next year. Are you looking at 2023?
Are you in next year?
I think I am. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I'm 20. Wait a minute.
You skipped ahead 2 years.
All right.
Okay.
April 15th, yes, all right.
April 15th?
Okay, we're good? Okay.
What's going on that day? That might be opening day for Little League.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe you should,
Maybe
did
we
Rudy
should
reach
tell-
out to you? He usually reaches out.
Wait, no, it wouldn't be the 15th, because that's a Monday. It would be the 13th would be opening day.
No, you're in the... Oh, no, the
Oh, my
parade.
God. Okay, can we move on?
I don't know.
Let's move on.
I'm
It's something we
24.
Third. I don't know,
Discuss
third base.
something on the beaches.
No, I was in 24. My bad.
All right, everybody's good? All right.
Okay, go ahead, Melissa.
All right, I just wanted to echo some things. The hoedown was a great success. It was a beautiful fall day. Councilwoman Russell mentioned we had the 2 grand openings. They were both well attended. What else? The Chamber of Commerce is hosting a Pets Halloween parade and competition this Saturday. I stopped at the chamber meeting right before this meeting, and they're all geared up to have a good day. That's this Saturday, and right here in front of Town Hall at 12 o'clock, right? Is that this Saturday coming up? Yes.
I think so, yeah.
So you can come down. I don't think they even had to sign up ahead of time, right? You just come down with your pets and dress them up and enter a contest. So that should be fun. I attended the fish and chips dinner, which was takeout only, but that was a great event for Fire Company 2. So kudos to them for their fundraising. What else do I have? And I know Dave already mentioned Shred Day. It seemed like it was a great success. I went down there too, probably with about 12 boxes of papers. I wondered do you know how we did with collection-wise? Usually they'll tell us how much.
Usually we get stats. I haven't gotten the stats yet on the tonnage of paper.
Okay. What else do I got? I also wanted to just congratulate you on the best practices scores. That was good. And congratulations to the Pequannock Marching Band on their competition. And other than that, my Economic Development Committee is not meeting in November. I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself, is not meeting in October because a couple of the key players couldn't make it, so they didn't have a quorum, so they canceled that meeting and they'll meet in November. Other than that,
Can I just add something? I think we all forgot the Fire Company 1 had a beefsteak.
oh, yes.
And unfortunately, I was all set to go. Something happened. And everybody I talked to, I think it happened to every single one of us, everything. But we do support Fire Company number 1, and we heard it was a great event, and I'm very sorry I missed it at the last minute.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that too. I had 3 things that night.
So,
Yeah.
I moved Ben in that day, and then I came home and crashed.
Gee, I wonder what.
But I'm sure it was a
Yeah, you
success,
had
and we
the
and that was a good point.
bands, I think, but
All right.
I didn't want to go without mentioning them.
Good. Next on the agenda is public comment. No one's here for public comment, so we'll move right along. We do have no approval of minutes this evening, right?
Correct.
And we're going to go into closed session. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R 2022-189, authorizing Township Council to meet in executive session to discuss matters of attorney-client privileges?
I second it.
All right, all in favor? Opposed?